Are you ready to uncover the darker side of America? From bustling metropolises to unsuspecting towns, some cities hide a reputation for danger behind their bright lights and iconic skylines. Whether it's high crime rates, violent incidents, or other risks, these places are not for the faint of heart. Let's dive into the top 10 most dangerous cities in the U.S. and see if your hometown made the list. Cleveland, Ohio, lands at number 10 on our list. Known for its iconic rock and roll hall of fame and passionate sports culture, Cleveland is a city with a rich history and vibrant community. However, it's also a place facing significant challenges when it comes to safety, crime statistics, and context. Cleveland is home to approximately 375,000 residents, making it the second largest city in Ohio. Yet, its crime statistics paint a troubling picture. With a violent crime rate of nearly 1,600 incidents per 100,000 residents, 4 times higher than the national average, Cleveland struggles with crimes like aggravated assault, robbery, and homicide. Property crimes, including burglary and car theft, are also rampant, further impacting the daily lives of its residents. Neighborhoods most affected. Not all areas in Cleveland experience the same level of crime. East Cleveland, Glenville, and Kinsman are among the neighborhoods most affected, plagued by high rates of violent and property crimes. These areas face systemic issues such as poverty, lack of education, and limited access to jobs, which often exacerbate criminal activity. By contrast, parts of downtown Cleveland and the West Side are considered safer but are not completely immune to theft and vandalism. The root of the problem. Several factors contribute to Cleveland's high crime rates. Poverty is one of the most significant, with about 30% of the population living below the poverty line. This economic hardship creates a cycle of unemployment and desperation, fueling crimes such as robbery and burglary. Additionally, gang activity and drug-related violence remain persistent issues. The opioid epidemic, in particular, has devastated parts of Cleveland, leading to increased criminal behavior and strained community resources. Community and law enforcement efforts. Despite these challenges, Cleveland is fighting back. The Cleveland Peacemakers Alliance works on the front lines to combat gang violence and mentor at-risk youth, providing alternatives to a life of crime. Local law enforcement has adopted data-driven approaches to identify crime hotspots, improving their ability to respond effectively. Community initiatives such as neighborhood watch programs and outreach efforts are also making a difference, albeit gradually. Stories from the ground. For those living in Cleveland, the impact of crime is personal. Take Sarah, a single mother in East Cleveland, who shared her story of raising 3 children in a high-crime neighborhood. "It's not easy," she said. "I have to constantly worry about their safety, even when they're just playing outside." Despite the challenges, Sarah remains hopeful, volunteering at a local community center to help create safer spaces for kids. Tourist safety and final thoughts. Cleveland has much to offer visitors, from its historic West Side Market to the renowned Cleveland Museum of Art. However, staying informed is key to a safe experience. Stick to well-trafficked areas like downtown and the Flats, and avoid venturing into unfamiliar neighborhoods, especially at night. While crime is a serious concern, Cleveland's vibrant culture and resilient community continue to shine. Though Cleveland's challenges are real, its potential for improvement is just as significant. This city's resilience and ongoing efforts to address systemic issues give hope for a brighter future. With the right investments and community support, Cleveland could rewrite its story. 9. Kansas City, Missouri. Coming in at number 9 is Kansas City, Missouri. Known for its world-famous barbecue, jazz heritage, and the iconic Liberty Memorial, Kansas City is a vibrant cultural hub. But beneath the surface of this lively city lies a troubling reality. A violent crime rate that continues to grow, crime statistics and trends. Kansas City, with a population of over 500,000 residents, has one of the highest violent crime rates in the country. In 2024, the city reported over 1,700 violent crimes per 100,000 residents, significantly higher than the national average. This includes offenses such as aggravated assault, robbery, and homicide. Gun violence is a particular concern, with Kansas City regularly ranking among the top cities for firearm-related crimes, high-crime neighborhoods. While crime affects many areas of Kansas City, some neighborhoods are particularly dangerous. The East Side, including neighborhoods like Blue Valley and Eastwood Hills, faces the brunt of violent and property crimes. These areas struggle with long-standing issues such as poverty, unemployment, and limited access to resources. However, it's important to note that not all parts of Kansas City are unsafe. Neighborhoods like Brookside and Waldo are known for their safety and community-oriented vibe, making them popular for families and visitors alike. Underlying causes. The high crime rate in Kansas City can be attributed to several systemic factors. Economic inequality is one of the primary drivers, with many residents living below the poverty line. The lack of affordable housing and limited job opportunities create an environment where crime becomes a means of survival for some. Additionally, gang activity and drug-related violence play a significant role in perpetuating the cycle of crime. The city's struggle with illegal firearms has further complicated law enforcement efforts to curb violence. Impact on the communities. The impact of Kansas City's crime problem is deeply felt by its residents. Families living in high-crime areas often experience a constant sense of fear, with parents worrying about their children's safety. Businesses in these neighborhoods face challenges too, with some opting to close or relocate due to the risk of theft and vandalism. Despite these difficulties, the Kansas City community remains resilient, with many residents actively working to improve their neighborhoods through grassroots initiatives. Efforts to address the issue. Kansas City has taken significant steps to combat its crime problem. Law enforcement agencies have adopted community policing strategies to build trust and improve relations with residents. The city has also invested in violence prevention programs such as Aim for Peace, which focuses on reducing gun violence through mediation and outreach. Nonprofit organizations are working to address root causes like poverty and lack of education, offering job training and mentorship programs to at-risk youth. Tourist safety and final thoughts. For visitors, Kansas City offers plenty to explore, from the historic 18th and Vine Jazz District to the bustling Country Club Plaza. However, like any large city, it's essential to stay vigilant. Stick to well-known tourist areas, avoid traveling alone at night, and always be aware of your surroundings. By taking these precautions, you can safely enjoy everything Kansas City has to offer. Kansas City's challenges with crime are undeniable, but its efforts to create a safer and more inclusive community show promise. With continued investment in economic development and public safety. 8. Stockton, California. At number 8 on our list is Stockton, California, a city with a rich agricultural history and a vibrant cultural community. But Stockton also faces serious challenges with crime, earning it a place among the most dangerous cities in the United States. Crime statistics and context. With a population of over 320,000, Stockton has struggled with high crime rates for years. The violent crime rate here stands at approximately 1,400 incidents per 100,000 residents, which is well above the national average. This includes crimes such as aggravated assault, robbery, and homicide. Property crime is also a major concern, with thousands of reports of theft, burglary, and car break-ins annually. Stockton's struggles with crime can largely be traced back to economic hardships and systemic issues that have persisted for decades. High-crime neighborhoods. Certain areas of Stockton are more affected by crime than others. South Stockton and downtown neighborhoods experience the highest rates of violent crime. These areas are often marked by poverty, unemployment, and a lack of resources, which contribute to their struggles. However, neighborhoods like Brookside and Spanos Park are relatively safer, offering a different side of Stockton for families and visitors alike. Root causes of crime. The root causes of crime in Stockton can be traced to economic inequality and social challenges. Stockton's recovery from bankruptcy in 2012 has been slow, leaving many residents in financially precarious situations. Unemployment rates are higher than the state average, and opportunities for upward mobility remain limited. Gang activity is another major factor, with Stockton being home to several active gangs that contribute to violent crime and drug-related offenses. Community impact. The high crime rates in Stockton take a toll on the community. Residents in high-crime neighborhoods report feeling unsafe in their own homes, and families are often hesitant to let their children play outside. Businesses, too, suffer from theft and vandalism, discouraging economic growth in these areas. Despite these challenges, the community's resilience shines through. Grassroots organizations and local leaders continue to advocate for change and work toward creating safer neighborhoods. Efforts to reduce crime. Stockton has implemented several initiatives to combat its crime problem. The Stockton Police Department has increased its focus on community policing, building stronger relationships with residents to improve trust and cooperation. Programs like Operation Ceasefire aim to reduce gang violence by intervening before conflicts escalate. Additionally, local nonprofits provide mentorship and resources to at-risk youth, helping to steer them away from a life of crime. Safety tips for visitors. Stockton has much to offer, from its beautiful delta waterways to attractions like the Hagen Museum. Visitors should stick to well-trafficked areas and avoid venturing into unfamiliar neighborhoods, especially after dark. By taking basic precautions, tourists can enjoy Stockton's highlights while staying safe. Stockton's challenges with crime are significant, but the city's efforts to address these issues show promise. With continued investment in economic development and community programs, Stockton has the potential to overcome its struggles and redefine its future. 7. Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Number 7 on our list is Milwaukee, Wisconsin, a city famous for its breweries, festivals, and rich cultural history. Unfortunately, Milwaukee is also grappling with high crime rates that have placed it among the most dangerous cities in the country. Crime statistics and context. Milwaukee is home to nearly 600,000 residents, making it the largest city in Wisconsin. In 2024, the city reported a violent crime rate of over 1,600 incidents per 100,000 people. This includes crimes such as homicides, aggravated assaults, and armed robberies. Property crimes, particularly vehicle thefts, are also a major issue, with Milwaukee experiencing one of the highest rates of carjackings in the United States. High crime areas. Crime in Milwaukee is concentrated in certain neighborhoods, particularly on the city's north side. Areas like Metcalf Park and Sherman Park face significant challenges with violent crime and poverty. These neighborhoods are often marked by abandoned properties, economic decline, and limited access to education and job opportunities. However, other areas like Bayview and the historic Third Ward are much safer and offer a vibrant, thriving community atmosphere. Factors driving crime. Milwaukee's crime problem stems from a combination of social and economic factors. The city has one of the highest poverty rates in the nation, with nearly 25% of residents living below the poverty line. High unemployment and limited access to quality education contribute to cycles of crime and violence. Additionally, Milwaukee struggles with racial segregation, which has created stark divides in resources and opportunities across the city. Impact on residents. The high crime rates have a profound impact on Milwaukee's residents. Families living in affected areas often experience constant stress and fear for their safety. Many businesses in these neighborhoods face challenges due to theft and vandalism, further limiting economic opportunities for residents. Despite these obstacles, Milwaukee's community remains resilient, with many residents actively working to create positive change. Efforts to address crime. Milwaukee has launched several initiatives aimed at reducing crime and improving community safety. The city has invested in violence prevention programs, including mentorship opportunities for at-risk youth and initiatives to improve police-community relations. Law enforcement agencies are also using data-driven approaches to target crime hotspots and allocate resources more effectively. Grassroots organizations are working to address root causes like poverty and lack of education, offering support and resources to struggling families. Tips for visitors. Milwaukee is a city full of charm and attractions, from the Milwaukee Art Museum to the bustling Riverwalk. Visitors should stick to well-known areas and avoid traveling alone late at night, especially in neighborhoods with high crime rates. By staying vigilant, tourists can enjoy Milwaukee's highlights while staying safe. Milwaukee's struggles with crime are undeniable, but the city's strong community and ongoing efforts to create a safer environment offer hope for the future. With continued focus on addressing systemic issues, Milwaukee has the potential to thrive. 6. Baltimore, Maryland. At number 6, we have Baltimore, Maryland, often referred to as Charm City, known for its historic inner harbor, vibrant art scene, and famous crab cakes. Baltimore also faces one of the highest violent crime rates in the country. Crime statistics and trends. Baltimore is home to nearly 600,000 residents, but the city's crime statistics are alarming. The violent crime rate here stands at over 1,900 incidents per 100,000 residents, placing it well above the national average. Homicides are a particularly pressing issue, with the city often recording over 300 murders annually. Property crimes such as burglary and car thefts are also widespread, further contributing to the city's reputation for danger. High crime areas. Crime in Baltimore is highly concentrated in certain neighborhoods, particularly on the city's west and east sides. Areas like Sandtown, Winchester, and Cherry Hill face the brunt of violent crime, often linked to gang activity and drug-related violence. By contrast, neighborhoods like Federal Hill and Mount Vernon are significantly safer and attract residents and tourists alike with their lively atmospheres and cultural landmarks. Root causes. Baltimore's crime problem stems from decades of systemic inequality and economic decline. Deindustrialization in the mid-20th century left many residents without jobs, leading to high poverty rates that persist to this day. Nearly 20% of Baltimore's population lives below the poverty line. The city is also grappling with an opioid crisis, which has fueled drug-related crimes and strained community resources. Community impact. The effects of crime are deeply felt by Baltimore's residents. Many families living in high-crime areas report feeling unsafe, even in their own homes. Businesses in these neighborhoods often struggle to stay open due to theft and vandalism, further limiting economic opportunities. Despite these challenges, Baltimore is a city of resilience. Community organizations and grassroots efforts are actively working to address the root causes of crime and create a safer environment. Efforts to combat crime. Baltimore has implemented several initiatives to tackle its crime problem. The city's Safe Streets program focuses on violence prevention by mediating conflicts and providing support to at-risk individuals. Law enforcement agencies are also working to improve trust with residents through community policing strategies. Nonprofits and local leaders are addressing economic inequality by providing job training and mentorship programs for underserved communities. Tips for visitors. Baltimore offers plenty of attractions, from the National Aquarium to the historic Fells Point District. However, visitors should take precautions when exploring the city. Stick to well-trafficked areas, avoid traveling alone at night, and stay aware of your surroundings. By doing so, you can safely enjoy the city's highlights. Despite its challenges, Baltimore's vibrant culture and strong community spirit make it a city worth rooting for. With continued efforts to address systemic issues, there's hope that Baltimore can reduce its crime rates and focus on its rich history and potential. 5. Memphis, Tennessee. Memphis, Tennessee, ranks at number 5 on our list. Known as the birthplace of blues and home to iconic landmarks like Graceland, Memphis also grapples with a high violent crime rate that impacts both residents and visitors. Crime statistics and context. Memphis, with a population of about 630,000, has one of the highest violent crime rates in the nation. The city reports over 2,000 violent crimes per 100,000 residents annually, including homicides, aggravated assaults, and armed robberies. Property crimes are also a major issue, with car thefts and burglaries being particularly prevalent. High crime areas. Crime in Memphis is concentrated in neighborhoods like Whitehaven, Fraser, and Parkway Village. These areas face challenges such as poverty, unemployment, and gang activity, which contribute to the high crime rates. On the other hand, neighborhoods like Midtown and East Memphis are generally safer, offering a stark contrast to the city's troubled areas. Root causes. Memphis's crime issues are deeply rooted in economic inequality and social challenges. The city has a poverty rate of nearly 24%, with limited access to quality education and job opportunities for many residents. Gang violence and drug trafficking are also significant factors, creating an environment where crime often feels inescapable for those living in affected neighborhoods. Community impact. The high crime rates have a profound effect on Memphis's residents. Families in high-crime areas often live in fear, while businesses struggle to stay afloat due to theft and vandalism. Despite these challenges, the community's spirit remains strong. Local organizations and leaders are working tirelessly to improve safety and provide resources for those in need. Efforts to reduce crime. Memphis has implemented several initiatives aimed at reducing crime. Programs like Operation Safe Community focus on targeting violent offenders and providing resources for rehabilitation. Law enforcement agencies are working to strengthen their relationships with the community through outreach efforts and community policing. Additionally, nonprofit organizations offer mentorship and support to at-risk youth, helping to break the cycle of crime. Tips for visitors. Memphis is full of attractions, from the lively Beale Street to the National Civil Rights Museum. Visitors should stay vigilant, especially at night, and stick to well-known areas. By taking precautions, tourists can safely enjoy the city's rich culture and history. Memphis's challenges with crime are significant, but its efforts to create a safer community show promise. With continued investment in education, economic development, and public safety, Memphis has the potential to overcome its struggles and thrive. 4. St. Louis, Missouri. Coming in at number 4 is St. Louis, Missouri, a city rich in history and culture, but one that also faces persistent challenges with violent crime. Despite its iconic landmarks and vibrant art scene, St. Louis struggles with some of the highest crime rates in the United States. Crime statistics and trends. St. Louis has a population of just over 300,000, but its violent crime rate is alarmingly high. With over 2,000 violent crimes per 100,000 residents, St. Louis regularly ranks among the most dangerous cities in the nation. Homicides are a significant issue, with the city often recording more than 200 murders per year. Aggravated assaults, armed robberies, and gun violence are other major concerns. Property crimes, including burglary and car theft, are also rampant, adding to the challenges faced by residents and law enforcement alike. High crime areas. The high crime rates in St. Louis are concentrated in specific neighborhoods, particularly on the city's north side. Areas like Walnut Park and College Hill face severe economic challenges, with abandoned buildings, poverty, and gang activity contributing to the cycle of violence. In contrast, neighborhoods such as Lafayette Square and the Central West End are safer and more prosperous, offering a different perspective on life in St. Louis. Root causes. The root causes of crime in St. Louis are deeply intertwined with economic inequality and systemic issues. The city has one of the highest poverty rates in the country, with nearly a quarter of residents living below the poverty line. The decline of manufacturing jobs in the mid-20th century left many communities struggling economically, and the effects are still felt today. Gang violence and drug-related crimes further exacerbate the problem, creating dangerous conditions in already vulnerable neighborhoods. Impact on the community. Living in a city with such high crime rates takes a toll on its residents. Families in high-crime neighborhoods often feel trapped, unable to move to safer areas due to financial constraints. Schools in these communities face challenges, as violence and poverty make it difficult for students to focus on education. Businesses, too, are impacted, with many leaving the area or struggling to stay open. Yet, St. Louis is also a city of resilience, with many residents and organizations working tirelessly to improve their communities. Efforts to reduce crime. St. Louis is taking steps to combat its crime problem. The city has implemented programs such as Cure Violence, which aims to reduce shootings through community-based interventions. Law enforcement has increased its focus on data-driven policing, targeting crime hotspots more effectively. Nonprofit organizations are addressing root causes like poverty and lack of education by providing resources and support to struggling families. Tourist safety tips. Despite its challenges, St. Louis has much to offer, from the stunning Gateway Arch to its thriving sports culture. Tourists should stick to well-trafficked areas, avoid venturing into unfamiliar neighborhoods, and stay alert, especially at night. By exercising caution, visitors can safely enjoy the city's many attractions. St. Louis is a city of contrasts, one of great potential and persistent challenges. With continued focus on economic development and community support, St. Louis can work toward reducing crime and creating a brighter future for its residents. 3. Detroit, Michigan. At number 3, we have Detroit, Michigan, a city that was once the heart of America's automobile industry, but is now better known for its struggles with crime and economic decline. Crime statistics and context. Detroit is home to over 600,000 residents, and its violent crime rate remains one of the highest in the country. In 2024, the city recorded nearly 2,200 violent crimes per 100,000 residents. Homicides, assaults, and robberies are frequent, while property crimes like burglary and car theft are also prevalent. Although crime rates have decreased slightly in recent years, Detroit's struggles with violence and theft are far from over. High crime areas. The crime in Detroit is concentrated in specific neighborhoods, especially those hit hardest by economic decline. Areas like Brightmoor and the East Side experience high rates of violent and property crime. These neighborhoods are characterized by abandoned homes, limited job opportunities, and a lack of community resources. However, areas like Midtown and downtown Detroit are undergoing revitalization and are generally safer for residents and visitors alike. Economic and social factors. The decline of the auto industry in the late 20th century left Detroit in economic turmoil, and the effects are still visible today. High unemployment rates, widespread poverty, and underfunded public services have created an environment where crime can thrive. Nearly 30% of Detroit's residents live below the poverty line, and the lack of access to education and healthcare further exacerbates the city's challenges. Impact on residents. The impact of crime in Detroit is profound. Many residents in high-crime areas live in constant fear, and families often feel unsafe even in their own neighborhoods. Schools in these communities face difficulties, as violence and poverty hinder students' ability to succeed. Despite these challenges, Detroiters are known for their resilience and determination to improve their city. Efforts to address crime. Detroit is working to reduce its crime rates through various initiatives. Community policing programs aim to rebuild trust between residents and law enforcement. Nonprofits and local organizations are addressing the root causes of crime by offering job training, educational opportunities, and resources for struggling families. The city is also focused on revitalization efforts, attracting businesses and investing in infrastructure to create more job opportunities. Tourist safety advice. Detroit has much to offer, from its vibrant music scene to historic sites like the Motown Museum. Visitors should stick to well-known areas like downtown and midtown, avoid traveling alone at night, and remain vigilant to ensure their safety. With the right precautions, tourists can enjoy the unique culture and history of Detroit. Detroit is a city of resilience and reinvention. While its challenges are significant, the community's determination to improve gives hope for a safer and brighter future.